Here's something almost nobody talks about. Spring soil health is built in December, not April. Most gardeners shut down for winter, and that single mistake costs them months of growth when spring arrives. But the truth is, your soil is wide awake below the frost, and right now it's begging for the 5 things that will let it explode with life in a few months. Do these 5 December tasks, and your soil will wake up so fast in spring, you'll think you added fertilizer you never paid for. Task number 1. The December Microbial Breakfast. Let's start with the task that has the biggest impact and the least effort, and almost nobody does it. You see, December is the month when most people assume the soil biology has shut down for winter. But that's not actually what happens. Soil life doesn't die in winter. It goes quiet. Deep underground, the bacteria, fungi, and tiny organisms that run your entire soil ecosystem slip into a slow, low-energy mode, kind of like a light sleep. They're alive, but they're not moving much, and they're not eating much either. And here's the key. If they go into winter with nothing to eat, they'll wake up in spring weak, slow, and hungry. But if you give them the right kind of food now, they'll explode into life the moment temperatures rise. That's where the December Microbial Breakfast comes in. This isn't fertilizer, this isn't hot compost. And you're not trying to kickstart huge activity in freezing temperatures. You're simply setting the table for your soil's biology so it has fuel waiting for it when spring arrives. And the best ingredients are the simplest ones. Leaf mold, unfinished compost, finely shredded yard waste, and a dusting of soil over the top. Now here's why this works so well. Leaf mold is one of the most microbe-rich materials in nature. Unfinished compost still contains half-broken down organic matter, the kind fungi absolutely love to colonize. And when you cover it all with a thin layer of soil, you're inoculating it with local bacteria that pull everything together. Think of it as making a slow-release winter meal for your microbes. Not something hot or fast, just steady carbon and nutrients that sit there quietly, protected from the cold, slowly softening and blending with the soil beneath. Over winter, something beautiful happens. Fungi thread through the leaf mold. Bacteria wake up just enough to cling to the carbon. Worm cocoons stay insulated. Moisture blends everything together, and the soil starts preparing itself long before spring does. By April, what looked like a dull, tired garden bed in December has turned into soil that's darker, softer, richer, and full of microbial activity. This one step alone can jumpstart your entire growing season. And now that we've given your soil something to eat, let's use winter itself to transform the structure underneath. Task number 2, the freeze-thaw soil loosening trick. Now that your soil has something to eat, it's time to let winter do the heavy lifting for you. Most gardeners think the freeze-thaw cycle is something that damages their soil. But if you use it the right way, it becomes one of the most powerful free tools for breaking up compaction, and you don't have to touch a shovel. Here's the secret. When water freezes, it expands, and that expansion is incredibly strong. It splits rocks, it cracks pavement, it shatters hardpan without mercy. And yes, it can loosen compacted soil better than any tiller ever could, but you have to give winter something to grab onto. Otherwise, all that freeze-thaw action just happens on the surface. So here's what you do. And it takes 5 minutes. Take a thin layer, just about ½ an inch, of something light and crumbly. Compost fines. Forest duff. Screened soil. Sifted leaf mold. Soft aged mulch crumbs. And spread it across the top of your beds. That's it. Don't dig it in. Don't mix it. Just lay it on top like a dusting of cocoa on a cappuccino. Now here's where the magic kicks in. Moisture in winter, things like frost, a little snow melt, even cold morning dew, slowly pulls that thin layer of material down into the soil. Then nature takes over. When the soil freezes, it expands and gently cracks apart. When it thaws, it relaxes and the new material sinks a little deeper. Freeze again. Cracks open wider. Thaw again. Everything settles down further. It's like the soil is breathing all winter long, and every breath pulls that layer deeper into the ground. Over and over, all winter long. You're basically letting nature take a jackhammer to your compacted soil, only gently, perfectly, and without disturbing the ecosystem below. By springtime, your soil becomes looser. Air pockets form naturally. Water moves deeper into the profile. Worms return faster. Microbes wake up with space to breathe, and root systems can push through like they never could before. All because you sprinkled a simple, crumbly layer on top and walked away. It's honestly one of the easiest soil hacks on Earth, but almost nobody uses it. Now that your soil is starting to open up, let's talk about the December trick that builds even more underground structure. And all you need is a handful of seeds. Task number 3, winter root rot tillage. Alright, now that we've fed the microbes and loosened the soil, it's time for one of the most underrated winter tricks in regenerative farming. And I promise you, once you try this, you'll wonder why nobody ever told you sooner. Most gardeners think winter is too late to plant anything, but there's a special group of cold-loving seeds that actually thrive in late fall, and then die in winter in a way that's incredibly good for your soil. These are your tillage radishes, forage turnips, and other deep-rooted brassicas that grow fast in cool weather. Here's what makes them amazing. You scatter the seeds now. Yes, even in December if your ground isn't frozen solid, and they'll germinate whenever they get a warm window. They grow just enough to send a strong taproot down into the soil. Then winter cold kills them. And that's exactly what you want. Because those dead roots don't just sit there. They rot in place underground and create deep air tunnels, drainage channels, tiny pockets filled with organic matter, spaces for worms to move through, hotspots where microbial life explodes in spring. It's nature's version of tilling. Except you're not disturbing the soil, not breaking the biology, and not flipping the layers upside down like a tiller does. You're simply letting a root grow, and then letting the cold do the rest. And here's the best part. These winter-killed roots release nutrients right where plants will need them in spring. They feed the soil without disturbing it, and they create an underground network that helps your spring roots grow deeper, faster, and stronger. By the time you plant next season, your soil will feel completely different. Looser, richer, more alive, more forgiving. All from a handful of seeds you planted in the cold. Next, we're going to protect everything you've built so far with one of the simplest winter soil tricks of all. Task number 4, build a thermal winter soil quilt. Now that your soil has food and structure, it's time to protect everything you've built. Because here's something most people don't realize. Winter doesn't kill soil life because it's cold. Winter kills soil life because it's exposed. Big temperature swings, harsh winds, and bare soil surfaces all destroy the delicate microbial world you've been building. So think of this next step as tucking your soil in for the winter. Literally. We're going to make what I call a winter soil quilt. Not a single layer of mulch. Not a thin sprinkle of leaves. A quilt. A layered blanket that works with nature to keep your soil life stable all winter long. Here's what the layers look like and why each one matters. First, start with shredded leaves. This is your soft, carbon-rich base layer. Leaves are fungal gold. They feed the organisms that hold your soil together. They also trap moisture gently without suffocating anything underneath. Next, add a light layer of straw or dried grass. This acts like insulation. It slows down temperature swings and prevents harsh freeze-thaw cycles from disturbing the soil too aggressively. On top of that, sprinkle a handful of pine needles or small twigs. This layer isn't for food, it's for airflow. It stops the lower layers from matting or compacting and keeps oxygen moving through the system, which is exactly what healthy winter soil needs. And finally, finish with a dusting of compost. Not a full layer, just a sprinkle. This inoculates the whole quilt with beneficial microbes that work their way downward all winter long. When you put all 4 together, you create a protected microclimate that acts like a warm, stable blanket over your garden beds. Here's what this quilt does for you. It keeps soil temperatures steady. It shields worms and microbes from sudden cold snaps. It protects fungal networks. It reduces erosion and runoff. It holds winter moisture exactly where your soil needs it. And it slowly, gently feeds biology for months. When you lift that quilt in spring, and trust me, you will, the soil underneath looks completely different. Soft, dark, moist, full of life. It's one of the easiest ways to preserve everything you've built and give your soil a head start before spring even arrives. And now for the final December task, the one that doesn't get enough credit but unlocks some of the biggest spring benefits. Task number 5, the winter mineral recharge. Now that your soil is fed, loosened, and protected, it's time for the final December task. And it's one that almost nobody talks about, even though it quietly transforms your soil for spring. We're talking about winter minerals. Most gardeners think minerals are something you add in the spring, right before planting. But winter is actually the best time to recharge your soil with minerals because cold weather and winter moisture do the mixing for you. Here's the simple truth. Plants can't thrive without minerals, but neither can microbes. Your soil biology needs calcium, phosphorus, potassium, iron, and trace elements just as much as your crops do. And December gives you the perfect conditions to deliver them exactly where they need to go. Here's how it works. When you sprinkle slow-release minerals on your soil in winter, the snow, frost, and light rainfall dissolve tiny amounts at a time. The freeze-thaw movement pulls those minerals deeper into the soil profile, right into the root zone, without you lifting. By the time spring arrives, the minerals are already in place, waiting for roots and microbes to tap into them. The best winter minerals are the gentle, natural ones. Rock phosphate builds stronger roots and early growth. Green sand adds potassium, iron, and improves soil texture. Gypsum breaks up clay without altering pH. Azomite delivers over 70 trace minerals microbes absolutely love. You don't need much. A thin sprinkle is enough because winter will carry it down slowly and evenly. Think of this as stocking your soil's pantry before the growing season begins. And here's the part I love. Unlike synthetic fertilizers, these slow minerals don't burn roots, don't cause salt buildup, and don't shock your soil. They work quietly, patiently, in rhythm with nature. When you dig into your beds in spring, you often see the difference immediately. Deeper worm tunnels, richer color, better moisture retention, spring seedlings growing faster, stronger root development, and healthier, more resilient plants. All because the biology woke up to everything it needed, already in the soil. Winter minerals are one of those things that don't look dramatic when you apply them, but create a dramatic difference when the season turns. Now that you've learned all 5 December tasks, let's bring it all together so you know exactly what to do this. Your December game plan. So now that we've gone through all 5 tasks, here's what December really comes down to. You're not trying to grow anything. You're not trying to force the soil to do something it can't. You're simply setting the stage for the biggest spring jumpstart you've ever seen. Feed your microbes before the cold hits. Let the freeze-thaw cycle break up compaction for you. Grow roots that will rot into natural tillage. Tuck the soil in under a winter soil quilt, and recharge it with the minerals that soil life depends on. Do just 1 or 2 of these and you'll notice a difference. Do all 5, and your soil will feel like a completely different place by April. Darker, softer, more alive, more forgiving. Ready for anything you plant? This is how regenerative growers get a head start while everyone else is waiting for spring. Now tell me in the comments, which December task are you doing first? Are you feeding your microbes? Are you planting your winter root tillers? Or are you building that soil quilt? Whichever one you choose, just remember this. Every small thing you do for your soil in December comes back tenfold in spring. Take care of your soil now, and in a few months, it will take care of you right back. See you in the next